get me to the playoffs, get me to the finals. And now what's the date today? June the 2nd? Oh, lads, the finals is among us. It's looking very, very tasty. We're obviously going to preview it and preview both sides of the coin, starting with the Western Conference as we normally do. And to be honest with you, as ropey as I am, and with a certain stateside hump in front of me, I don't think I have to talk too much. We'll start with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I want to ask you, first of all, expectations coming into the year for the Thunder. Obviously, if I can set the table for you a little bit, you were, if I'm not mistaken, second round last year. You know, you ran
Correct.
into Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
And
PJ Washington, but same thing.
PJ. Oh, him as well. Yeah, the arms folded. I remember this.
Honestly,
it was dark. I think it was a little bit of lack of experience. You lot being a younger team, just not quite ready to win, basically. But you come into the season, you make a big splash, big trade. Josh Giddey out the door, Alex Caruso coming in. Talk to me once that trade happened, and once the season actually started. What are the expectations of the Oklahoma City Thunder coming into the season?
I mean, coming to the season, as you just said there, we ended the season first in the West, but we had some glaring holes in the team as well. Do you know what I mean? Which was rebounding and just size in general. Swapping Giddey for Caruso and not having to give up anything for that. I don't know what Sam Presti had to say or had to do in those rooms, but he got it done. He got it done, and we rectified those sort of mistakes and stuff. And also bringing in Isaiah Hartenstein as well, paid. We had to splash for that, but
forgot about him as well. Yes, good piece.
He's performed for us this season. You know what I mean? In terms of rebounding, his playmaking's been very underrated. Didn't know he had that in his bag, but we take what we get, and he's helped us a lot in that department as well. So having that foundation of Chet, J-Dub, and Shea, now MVP as well, we've built something really good. Do you know what I mean? And we've taken it up a level from 57 wins last season, which I didn't think was possible. But like I said to you before we started, I've seen a lot of OKC teams, but this one, different. Offensively, we've taken up a notch. Defensively, I could sit here and talk about our defense for a whole hour, but I just want to say, just defensively it's at an all-time level, and I almost feel sorry for the Pacers in the final for what we're going to do to them. But I'm happy. I'm happy so far with what I'm seeing from the Thunder.
Well, Tony, I'll ask you to be fair, because I like to think that Stateside Hump is right to be confident. Coming into the season, and especially what you've been seeing in their playoff run. How impressed have you been with OKC? Because they were number 1 seed last year, but you could tell with Dallas, with the Timberwolves emerging, there were probably other teams that were really boxing with them. But at least in my eyes, this year, East, West, it doesn't really matter. I think they've been the standout team in the NBA. No, but you let me know if I'm bugging or not, though.
No, 100%, bro. I feel like OKC have been the team to beat in the NBA this season. I feel like even from the rate line, we saw last year when they finished number 1 in the West, we all knew, okay, playoff time, it's going to be their first playoffs. Like, they need to learn what the playoffs are like. They need to learn about the smaller rotations as this. So I was not surprised when we went out in the second round. I did think going into the year that, this year might be the year that they make the Western Conference Finals, and they might run into someone that just has that playoff experience. But I think this year and this whole playoff run has shown that the old heads that we grew up watching and the playoff experience don't mean jack anymore, bro. As long as you're a good team, you can get those 4 wins. So with OKC, yeah, man, they've been the team to beat. And I know Humphrey can talk about this, but my boy's an OKC fan as well, and every OKC fan just goes on about their defense and how good they are defensively.
I want to ask you about this, by the way, because we had a debate with another creator, RNS Sports. Follow him on TikTok if you haven't already. And when I brought up to him the point that Stateside Hump has been pretty much all year has been bashing on, this OKC defense is all-time good. Do you agree with that sentiment as well?
Yeah, low-key, bro. They've got the stats to show that this is an all-time defense, and not only can they defend in the perimeter, they can defend the inside as well. Adding Hartenstein was a massive piece, and Humphrey's right. He's so underrated in his playmaking. I feel like we all just thought Hartenstein. First of all, we didn't even know Hartenstein had some black in him. But second of all,
facts.
Yeah, it's true. First of all, we didn't even know that. But second of all, the guy can play make as well. And having that with the likes of Chet, J-Dub, I was quite worried in going into the playoffs, thinking, okay, how is Shea's game gonna translate into the playoffs because Shea's a guy where his bag is getting to the rim, is those mid ranges. Like you may not get those calls in the playoffs because teams, even though teams are different and teams are better defensively, like the refs might not get those calls. But I think in the second round, like the first round, like do you remember game one of the first round where Shea stunk it up?
Yes, he stunk it up massively.
And I started to be like, whoa. But then since
Same.
then,
Don't worry.
no,
Same.
but it was the truth. But since then, after, like he's just been playing at the level that he was playing during the regular season, even this Western Conference Finals as well. He's been balling out, and yeah, man, it's scary because this is. I said this on my pod earlier today that OKC are not only just a good team. This is the youngest team to ever reach the finals, and not only do they have this nice young core to go on for years to come. Sam Presti, the devil himself, has all these picks. So not only if they want to blow it up and get rid of these picks for a superstar and just dominate, they can do that. Or they can just keep building through the youth, or just building through the draft and just keep this dynasty going on for longer. It's OKC's world right now. We're just living in it. I knew this was going to happen eventually. I just didn't think it would happen this quickly. I thought we would maybe get one more playoff in which like LeBron and Luka and LeBron just being LeBron and everyone's just like, you missed the final because LeBron. But bro, OKC are here in the finals. They're going to deal with the Pacers in the finals, and we might be looking at a dynasty here for the next years to come, bro.
So, sorry to cut you off. Every time we finish these pods, I always go on Spotify and I listen to it back. It's OKC's one, and we're all living in it. I will rewind and play that back every single time. Because that felt good. That felt good. Sorry, you were saying before I really cut you off.
No, that's fine. You can tell why we don't talk about OKC on this pod very much, but I have no choice.
Well, we're gonna have to. Do you know what I mean?
You're gonna have to, unfortunately for me. Fortunately for you. Also, I want to go into it a little bit deeper now because everybody's like, I can imagine what the betting odds look like. I can imagine what everybody's saying. Like OKC is just gonna walk it, but we're gonna go into it a little bit. And Stateside Half, I'll start with you on this. And Tony, I'll ask you in a second. We might all agree on this. I don't know. We might have different answers. I'm not sure yet. Who's gonna be the X factor for you going into the series if OKC are to win the championship or at least walk it like everybody says there is, whether it's going to be this player's defensive impact, maybe it's going to be their offensive impact, who's going to be the player that's going to be that integral that it makes it so the Indiana Pacers just have no chance?
I'll probably say J-Dub. He's one person that I've said throughout every round that we've played, because you know what you're going to get from Shea. You know what you're going to get from Chet, especially on the defensive end. His offensive game is improving as well, but J-Dub, he gives you both. Do you know what I mean? When he's playing with the starting lineup, when he's playing with the second unit, like keeping the scoreboard ticking as well. Defensively, one of the best in the league as well. I just think we'll need his production. He can't give us games where he's only dropping 6 points. Do you know what I mean? He, to be fair, his gameplay has improved a lot, especially in the conference finals. I think he averaged 22 points in there. Defensively, like I said, you know what he's going to give you on that end anyway. But we'll need his production and just his leadership overall from OKC side of things. And Casey Wallace as well, defensively. My favorite player in OKC.
I thought he was going to say Kenrich Williams there. I was worried.
I mean, it's him, Kenrich Williams, and Dort, but
Very worried. Tony, if I'll ask you the same question, if there was anybody on the team whether it's defensively the impact or offensively the impact, who is going to be that player that's going to be like, because OKC have this guy, Indiana, you have no chance?
The answer to the question is because OKC have this guy, Indiana have no chance, and the answer is Shea. But Humphrey's right, where we know what we're going to get from Shea. Indiana know what we're going to get. They know that Shea's going to get his. So you plan for that, but you plan who else is going to be integral. And so, I kind of agree with Humphrey because J-Dub's been weird this playoffs. He's had some games, especially in round 1 and 2. I think Western Conference, it's been patterned. It's been the J-Dub we've seen in the regular season. But round 1 and 2, he has some stinkers. Absolute stinkers. Where you're just thinking, I think it was game 3 against the Nuggets. J-Dub absolutely had a stinker. It was the one where Shea, we guys were 2-1 down and Shea was smiling.
My head was hot.
Yeah. No.
No,
But
Jada played well in that game. It was just Shea didn't pass him the ball in the fourth quarter, and we ended up
Shea
losing
didn't
that.
pass. Yeah, Shea
You
didn't
got
pass.
lost by 40.
It was
don't matter who's passing
game
anyway.
6. It was game 6. Jada dropped 6 points.
Yes, and it was game 6 as well. And so, like, he's kind of patterned it in the Western Conference, and because he's patterned it, what J-Dub gives both on the offensive floor, on the offensive side and defensive side, is so integral to OKC because you know what you're going to get from Shea. But with J-Dub, like, if you get J-Dub on a good day, it's a wrap. If you get J-Dub on a bad day, you give Indiana a chance. So Shea's gonna have his regardless if he has a good day or a bad day. But I think J-Dub is really important. And I think Caruso as well, because the one thing about the Pacers bench has been really underrated this playoffs. Like when Nemhard's going off or TJ McConnell's coming on or Obi Toppin or any of them seem to be helping him out getting those bench points. And TJ McConnell's a veteran. He's been in this league for God knows how long. He knows how to play in these playoff situations. And he's been really good for Indiana when they need that. So if you need someone who can like help out defensively and also in the second unit and also come in and give you something, it might be Caruso, but J-Double Caruso because I know what I'm going to get from Shea.
I have to agree with you as well. You've kind of taken the people who I think that because OKC have them on their team, Indiana, you have no chance. All Shea has to do is just get his averages. He averages in and around 30 points. I think against the Timberwolves, he averaged closer to 40 points than he did.
That's crazy.
And if he's doing that versus the Pacers, I'm very sorry to tell you, the Minnesota are a much better defensive team, way better defensive team than the Pacers are. And they had no chance in hell in stopping Shea. And we know what Shea's game is predicated on. Obviously, it's drives to the basket. He's going to get your guys in foul trouble and one-on-one unstoppable. So whatever perimeter defenders that Indiana have, which is not many, by the way, probably none, they have no chance. My main thing is going to be Caruso, like you said as well, because I expect him, if Mark Dagnall decides to start him, he's going to be the matchup that Tyrese Halliburton has to, contend with. And as much as I love Tyrese, Caruso's going to give him hell. And if Caruso, for whatever reason, isn't even doing the job, Lou Dort, and Siakam's probably going to be your guy, do something. Yeah. Lou Dort is first team all defense. Lou Dort is probably the best perimeter defender in the
world that's ever seen. Yeah,
I'll be honest. He's good. He's flipping good.
Ever seen? All right, this is where OKC.
Something like that, man. Something like that.
All right, come on, man.
He's in the conversation. He's in the conversation.
Best perimeter defender that you've ever seen.
Nah, I love Lou Dort, man. I love Lou Dort.
Tony Allen.
Yeah, man. He wipes the floor, bro. Allen can't light a candle next to him, man.
First team all defense.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. We've got 4 of those on our team. That's the problem. And to be, I wanted. Sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to quickly mention this. OKC's offense, I think people aren't really paying attention to. In Game 4 against the Timberwolves, we went there and hung 128 points on that Timberwolves defense. You know what I mean? Even though we gave up 126, but it felt like the Timberwolves were trying to play catch up the whole time. Do you know what I mean? They were making threes that they normally wouldn't make. But we've gone on the road and hung almost 130 points on another team. Couple that with our defense and the ability to score that much on the road, I think our offense as well, people aren't really paying too much attention to. Not only Shea, but J-Dub and Chet as well. And obviously our bench players as well.
I was going to say, I think it's personally more of the fact that, at least coming into this finals anyways, that it's not that or at least me, I'm underrating the offense per se. It's just that when you look at the other team and their offense, I think even you will admit this, it's better. And there's numbers that will obviously back it up. They full court especially, like it's so exciting to watch. Whereas you guys, it's probably quite suited to the playoffs, to be honest. It's very half court. You can slow the pace down. You can obviously speed up when you need to. You can obviously get out in transition when you need to. But when you're seeing, you look down and you look up and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's at the free throw line once again, then, it's kind of easy to poke holes and, nitpick in terms of why you're, the most fun team to watch, or why you're, to some people, boring to watch.
We're just very methodical in the way we play. And defense as well. It's not as attractive as offense and like Curry shooting threes or, LeBron dunking or whatever. It's not as exciting for everyone else. For me, I couldn't give a toss. Do you know what I mean? That's my team. I enjoy it either way.
Team and you're just winning.
That's what I'm trying to say, bro. If you're winning 68 games, bro, I'm sorry, you're good. It's fun to watch for me. Anyway, I can only speak about myself as a fan. Do you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, offensively as well, I think people shouldn't really sleep on us. I know they've built this finals up as like defense versus offense, but offensively as well, we're something scary because Shea averaged, I want to say, 39 points in the 2 games against Indiana this season. I know it's only, regular season, but still 39 points, and he just looked comfortable. Do you know what I mean? Whatever defensive strategy they put on him, he just looked comfortable. So if his shots fall in, then yeah, it's long for the Pacers.
Well, I wanted to ask you, Tony, as we wrap up this section, Stateside, I'll return to you as well on this. Kevin Garnett put out an interesting take on his podcast. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. I think it's called KG Certified. I might be wrong. But he basically said the era of the big three is dead. And when you look at both of these teams, OKC and the Pacers, both respectively, quite deep teams, to be honest with you. OKC's bench, very underrated. I think coming into these playoffs, the likes of Case of Wallace, Aaron Wiggins. The Pacers, obviously, Tony, you mentioned some of the names earlier. Do you agree with that sentiment from KG? Is the era of putting all your money in 3 superstars, like bona fide all-stars at least, and hoping that is enough to take you to a championship? Do you think that is now completely dead? It's time for, a superstar, maybe 2, and then depth?
Yeah, 100%, bro. 100%. I feel like the formula now is now a superstar, a mid-tier superstar in depth, which used to be what a lot of teams had back in the day. But then we went to the big 3 era, we went to the superstar era. Because, bro, like, we had the superstar, we had 2 superstars. We had 2 top, if you still want to call LeBron a top 5 player, fair enough. But we had 2 top 5 players in the team, and they got whacked by that Timberwolves team in 5. They got absolutely whacked.
Yep.
And that wasn't because the superstars weren't performing. That's because the Lakers need a big, the Lakers need this, the Lakers need that. When you get into the playoffs, it used to be, back in the day, it used to be you have your big 3. You had a rotation to 7 to 9 guys, if that. You had your big 3. You had your people that came in, and you had, I was going to say again, but you had people playing 40-something minutes a game. But that era's changed, bro. And these playoffs have solidified that. It's happening in football too. The eras are changing. What we grew up on of super teams are changing. You now just need, because, bro, why the hell are the Pacers? No one had the Pacers in the finals. We're not saying the Pacers are a bad team. We knew the Pacers were going to be in and amongst it in the East, but no one had the Pacers coming out of the East. Not a single person. And even still, next year, I don't think I had the Pacers coming out of the East. But I know that if somehow Brooklyn require a superstar, and fair enough, like, this is me with my Brooklyn Nets hat on, I feel like, Cam Johnson could
It was coming.
Cam Thomas can average 20 on a good thing. Like, if we had a superstar to that, we could be a playoff team next year. Do you know what I mean? Like, Cam Thomas can be our second option. I'm not sure. We might have to trade with Cam Thomas with the picks we have, but still, do you know what I mean? Like, it's especially in the East, maybe not the West, but in the East,
100%.
If you've got a superstar and another second guy, because, like, who do you class as a superstar in Indiana? Is it Siakam or is it Halliburton? Because Halliburton won conference finals MVP.
Mm-hmm.
And Halliburton Siakam won it.
Siakam did, yes.
And Siakam's got a chip. Halliburton ain't got a chip. Siakam does. He's officially the number 1 scoring option, I think. I think Halliburton can go off, but I feel like all throughout the season, Halliburton's shooting fluctuates. But Siakam normally averages around 18, 19 to a game.
Yep.
To 20 towards the 20s a game, which is a bit higher than Halliburton's average. So Siakam's the number 1 option. So if you do you class Siakam as a superstar? No. He's an all-star, but you don't class him as a superstar. So he's even like taking away the mantle of you need a superstar and 2 stars. I feel like it's about depth. And the one thing about the Pacers right now is their depth. The one thing, like, when they needed it most, Andrew Nembhard was just shooting threes like lights out. Benedict Mathurin can bake and play basketball, apparently. Like,
Thomas Bryant. Thomas Bryant comes out of nowhere, shoots 3 threes in like 5 minutes.
I've not seen Thomas Bryant since that episode of Selling Sunset, for anyone that watches Selling Sunset. I have not seen Thomas Bryant. That's the only time I saw him. I knew he played for the Lakers, and I saw him getting a house by Chriselle on Selling Sunset.
He out here, man.
He's out here shooting threes. So, yeah, man, I do think the era of the big 3 is dead, and basketball turning into a new era where you just got to get a good team. You just got to build a team, and Sam Presti's giving us the formula. No one else can do it because no one's going to accumulate that many picks. But hey ho, the era of the big three is over,
Yeah.
man. Like stuff
Yeah.
changes.
Stateside hunt for it's a copycat league as well. So to be honest, if either of these teams obviously find a way to do it, do you think this is going to be the model now going forwards? Teams are going to prioritize depth over having as many good players as possible or like superstar level players as possible.
I mean, the proof is in the pudding, bro. Remember a couple pods ago, I said something about depth is really important, and it's better to improve your 4 to 8 rather than your 1 to 3, or something along those lines. Because you're seeing with the Phoenix Suns. Do you know what I mean? They tried to do the whole big 3 thing and they fell flat on their face. You're seeing with the Denver Nuggets having the best player in the world, but still can't get out of the second round because they have not sorted their depth issue. Do you know what I mean? But then, as we were saying, the Pacers, I did have the Pacers as one of the teams to watch. I remember just before we done the whole playoff preview thing, I had them as one of the teams to watch. Finals, I didn't see them there. I did not see the Pacers in the finals, but again, their depth is what's got them there. Obviously, with Halliburton and Siakam as well. But depth is so important because sometimes your top end talent might not have it going. Do you know what I mean? You see with the Knicks as well, they tried to do the whole top end talent versus the Pacers depth, and you can just tell it's a mismatch. They're putting in Landry Shamet and Delon Wright to hope for the best, but you just know Tibbs don't really trust his bench like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
he had to like throw something at the wall and see what stuck. But if you like really if you intentionally build out your bench and build out your depth, then if things aren't going well, you have more room for error. Do you know what I mean? You have more combinations that you can go to, as you can see with OKC's Mark Dagnall, because sometimes like Shade doesn't have it going, J-Dub doesn't have it going. You bring in an Aaron Wiggins, you bring in Isaiah Joe. We struggle sometimes with Jokic, obviously. You bring in a Jalen Williams. Sometimes he doesn't play, but we have him there. He's quality. Do you know what I mean? Throughout the season, sometimes when Chet and Hartenstein don't play, we're bringing Jalen Williams, and he averages a triple double. He scored like three triple doubles in the 3 games that both our starting bigs didn't play. So it's like if you actually draft properly and you build out the quality of depth, you can go to that. Do you know what I mean? So it's definitely something, as you said, it's a copycat league. So teams are going to intentionally try and do that because, I mean, naturally you want to do that anyway. Do you know what I mean? The more options you have coming off the bench, the more chances you can to win.